Okay.
There was someone that the dog say anything.
Okay. We are starting.
People are so much
Great.
discouraged. Yeah, from the street.
Okay. So I try to use ZAS to. Okay, we are trying to refactor the current characters code using ZAS, the tool that I work on and the specification itself. And then I've come to realize that there is a very major issue. So maybe I will share my browser, and then we can take a look at what I'm talking about. Um, let me go to GitHub, and then you see. So in ZAS, the naming convention is that directories and files should be named without any separators like underscore or dashes, and that has caused a problem, like a very big problem. So let me open it, and then we look at it. Now the problem it caused was, imagine we have two files. We have this file called, let's say, bat, let me say bat like that, bat.class.php. So bat class will be like bat, yeah. Then what if we have another class that is probably ba and then t, but then the ba is capitalized, and then it's like b at, yeah. So b and at, they are two separate words. So if you look at the name, they all will end up with bat.class.php, because there's no way for us to differentiate between bat and bat. Hence, if you maybe use the dash dash f in your command, you will end up having overrating some code that you wrote earlier. So now I'm about to fix that, yeah. So we had naming conventions, yeah. So lowercase with no dividers. Now we have to remove this divider. So we're going to say with dividers, yeah, as underscore, not underscore, but dashes, because I think dash are better than underscore when it comes to naming. So we're going to say not with no dividers, but with dividers such as underscore, or should we, yeah. So maybe in the ZAS configuration file, we will put whether we want it to be underscore or whether we want it to be dashes. So we can leave this one to be specified in the configuration file. And the same thing, instead of no dividers, we're going to remove that. Good. So this one is good. We can that's the update to the specification. Now let's go implement this thing in the actual ZAS environment, the ZAS environment. Where is that thing? Let me look for it. Just give me a minute. Let me look for it. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. So I kind of released the version 1.0.4. But if I make this change, this is going to be a very huge change. There will be an incompatibility between ZAS version 1.0.4 with the previous versions, like, okay, with the next version. So since there will be that very high incompatibility, I'm going to call it version 2 when I'm done with it. And another thing I want to do is since I have to like link the current project that people are doing to the updated ZAS, I want to make ZAS itself to be I want to make ZAS itself to be a composer package, yeah. So I will try to make it a composer package. So that means when there is any change, composer will automatically update it. But then I have to be really careful with the design, yeah, because if I just mess around with the configuration file a lot, because the actual ZAS itself is really dependent on the configuration file. So I don't want to mess around with that. Hence, I'll try my best to decouple a lot of configuration from the, like a lot of code from the configuration file itself, and try to at least make the configuration file available to the ZAS that will be the ZAS CLI itself. So we are going to have zasenv, and then we're going to have ZAS CLI. So ZAS CLI now will be the one that will be the package. So when you create a project using the ZAS environment for PHP, you definitely have the ZAS CLI, and then as if there are updates, then we can just you can just receive those updates. Now with how far we have come with the current that Carata, it's kind of it's going to be hard to really change to the version 2 of ZAS, but then we will have to do that for smooth programming in the future. Else there will be clashes with file names, and we might overwrite very important code. So yeah, that's how using the ZAS CL has with our current project has given me insight into the problems. And there was something that I found really intriguing, which was when I create a file, I put the file path. Yeah, so after you create a class, the class path is printed to the console. Now when you click that particular path, it directly opens the file, and I think that's really good. So that you don't have to be when you create an interface, then you start looking for the interface. So you can just click on the path, and then the interface opens for editing. I think that was really good. I didn't see the use of that until I started using it. Until like we started using it to move Carata to the OOP version of it. So with that said, let's start the first one by working on the file dividers. So that will be dashes by default. So let me go there. Today I'm not going to make any mistake. I'm actually going to. This was Firerunner. What does Firerunner do? Firerunner just execute the code in a particular file, and this was the new command I added, by the way. You guys don't know, but now if you I will have to update the documentation, but then if you run this command like PHP ZAS run, then you give the path to the file, we will be able to run that particular file. So this is really helpful for testing background files, files that are in the background. So the background folder in Actors, I think, yeah, these type of files do PHP ZAS run. Then we're going to run that run setup, for example, and we will run setup. With that said, let me now focus on the file dividers. I don't even know where to start, because since I closed this thing and started using it, it has been long. So my own code is probably hard to look at. Thank God I've been commenting. So let's start with the JSON file. So we have all of the templates here. The templates path, actors. So I'm just going to add another one, name convention. Let's do file separator. So we're gonna call this one file name separator. Yeah, file name. I hate long names, but then this thing has to be really descriptive. So what would be the file name separator? Now I'm thinking, should we say, okay, abstract classes should have their own separators, or this should just apply to all of the files? So if it will apply to all of the files, then I'll just use dash. So dash will be the file name separator. Good. With that said, what's the next thing I'm supposed to update? There is the system folder. The system is the one that create directories of files based on the operating system we are on. And I think basically, that particular task should not be given to the system class. But let's just take a look at it and see if. So we are in ZAS. If you look at system.class of PHP, let's see. create file. We just need a path that we will create a file in. So instead of checking, and no, we can't give that, we can't give that responsibility to the system to do. Let's see. What Okay, if you look at ZAS helper, does ZAS helper make any? Let me see. Okay, folder maker, I think this one makes a folder. Container name. So container name. So okay, this one makes a folder. You give us the name of the folder, and we make the folder. And this one makes a file. But then these ones, they are basically used when you are making files in the actors folder. So I'm not going to touch this other one. Let me look for the ones that we use when we are making files. Yeah, this is okay. Yeah, supporters. They are making a supporter file. Wait, I have to keep my eye on. Yeah, making an actor. This must be in a function. Okay, making an abstract class. Let's see what's happening here. Make abstract class. So I think this container maker. Let me see. Container maker. I think container maker is the guy we should be looking at. Because it mostly makes yeah, it mostly makes the objects. So let me look for container maker. Container maker get function to implement. Let me see. Clean the name. So okay, let me see what this clean name does. So remove the regions from a name. Oh yeah, that's what this one does. I don't think it does any other thing. Makes a file regardless of its directory. So we get the qualified name, and when we get the qualified name, the full name of the container includes this namespace. We get the namespace text, and when we get the namespace text, we capitalize words. In the qualified name, we get the full path. Okay. Path as in the ZAS config. So I think we usually pass the path string. That's where we are going to make the stuff. Let me see. Make directory, home directory. Yeah, I think this is where things are supposed to start happening. So firstly, now make directory does what? So core is the system, and system makes directory. So get full path. Let's see what get full path does. So get full path append this thing to the root directory path. Okay. I'm looking for where we like a place that I can abstract away where we get the name. Let me look at ns-util trait. Remove slashes. Function get the home directory of the qualified name. This return the home directory. Get name returns the name, the actual name, capitalized words. Get namespace text. Okay, it gives us the namespace. Now I'm going back again. I'm going back to where we were. You see, so when this change happens, I'm sure we won't be compatible with the previous version. So command executor, let's look at that. Make directory, get full path, container maker. Okay, let me see. Since every file name is supposed to be lowercase, that means every single file. Let me look at FileMaker. FileMaker implements what? Or it extends abstract command executor. We make directories the same, get full path. Okay, now I'm thinking of a way that we can just we need something that can take the name of the file, looking at the capital letters, because here's what I'm looking at. Yeah, if someone say PHP ZAS make class, then they say X, or okay, maybe like some name slash some class. This should lead us to creating a file with a file named some dash name in some dash class dot php. So this is supposed to be the actual name we get at the end of it. So since we know that we have our namespace utility class, should we give that functionality to the namespace utility trait? Now, should we create? We know that there is the FileMaker. FileMaker, what does FileMaker do? Okay, abstract command executor uses the namespace utility trait, which has all of these. So maybe directory name. Directory name, we make the directory. So we need to clean the file name. So what to do? I'm going to the namespace utility. I'm going to. Should they be in the namespace utility? Should we put it in some other trait that will be used by every other person? Call it file utility, because we have namespace utility. Yeah, let's create a trait called file utility. It's just going to have one function. Probably we will change that later on in the future. So PHP ZAS make trait file, that's it, ZAS slash file util. Yep. Now this is what I was talking about. You see this particular link here. If I click this link, it's just gonna open the directory, and that was cool. The new created trait, yeah. And I found that cool. Okay. So now I'm just going to have one function in here. So let's say public function. What's the name of the function? Function get ZAS qualified. Wait, to ZAS name. That's the function, to ZAS name, and then we're gonna pass in file name. So I'm just going to put a string. This one's gonna be string. And what does it return? It just return another string. Yeah, now let's return an empty string here. Yep, good. So with this, let me just comment here. Yep. So we say converts a camel case name into a ZAS qualified name. Yeah. Converts is a camel case name into a ZAS qualified name. Yeah. Okay. And we'll do, for example, ZAS. So some namespace dash some file will return some dash namespace slash some hash 5. However, the 5 separator is specified in the ZAS config.json. So even the ZAS config name has to change, to ZAS-config. We'll do that. Yeah. Great. So given that we now have, let's try to implement this function. So we want to split the file name by capital letters, and then we can append. We can put dashes between it. So what is the approach we should take here? We can use a regular expression. Yeah. So what happens if we split a file name by a regular expression? We have to maintain the index. You know what? I mean, I like testing things. I don't know exactly what will happen if I split a file by a regular expression or name by a regular expression. So I know definitely there will be no capital letters. So if it was maybe some file, so some file, and then we split by capital letters, we will definitely have SOME and then ILE because there will be no F. So how can we get back the F? Yeah. How can we get back the F? I think there's a way to do preg match. So preg match will tell us which indexes match. Yeah, which indexes match. And then we can replace. Now you can't replace a character in the string, or can you? No, I don't think so. So we have to split these things. We split it and then put it back together. But then if we are putting it back together, we are not sure of whether. You know what? Let's just use O of n, our time complexity, to do this. So for me, I like writing my time complexity here. Takes O of n time. Should we really take O of n time? Okay, let's do another bit of searching. I'm going to go to the browser and say, what is the time complexity of PHP regular expression? The time complexity is O of n, but please note, when performing a partial match on a string, you roughly need m times m. Okay, because if regular engine can match a pattern in the first, it must again try. Okay, no problem. So good. That means we are staying in touch with the time complexity. With that said, like I said, I'm going to be really keen today. I'm not going to leave any browser window over there. So since we know we are going to be taking O of n time, is better. Now I know very well that the for each loop is slower than the actual for loop. So with that in mind, let me use the actual for loop. So I'm going to say check for capital letter. So we are going to create a new string, and then we're going to be popping the value of this other string and putting it to this other string. But then when we meet a capital letter, we will actually append dash before we actually put the letter there, and then changing it to a lower case. I don't know if you get that, but this is what we are going to be doing. So let me just say $length is equal to string length of file name. Then we're going to do a for loop, yeah. $new string is equal to an empty string. Then we say for $I is equal to 0, I is less than. Okay. So Okay, so with this, now we can go ahead to start. So we say if the value is capital letter, right? So I'm gonna say if dollar if preg match, if preg match, what does it match? If it match a dash z, if preg match this, what are we matching? File name at I. We are not saving the matches, so just saying if preg match that, then that means that thing is a capital letter, so we are going to put dash before we append it. Yeah, so we're gonna say $new string dot equal, then we'll do dash, then we string to lower, yeah, string to lower file name at I, and then we just continue the loop there. Other than that, we're just going to append the letter to the new string. No need to put string to lower, just say file name, and then we can return yep. So good, we now get to ZAS name. So it returns some string that is converted to ZAS name. Good. So a ZAS qualified name, for example, that. And yes, that is it. Now let's go around fixing some bugs. You know, to save ourselves, we could do two things. It's either we go say use namespace utility, or we tell the namespace util trait itself to use the file util. So what I'll do, I'm gonna put another use trait in here. So it's just gonna be using use file util trait. Yeah, this makes sense. Huh. Split a name into parts by non-alphanumeric characters. And then I call it remove slash. That's not good. Get name will give us the qualified name. Okay. Capitalize words. Get name space. But we know. Okay. Now there is a problem. So what if the first letter? Oh. Now I'm seeing this. I've seen a problem. But thank God we saw it before. You know, if the first letter is capital, we are going to actually append dash. Um, so we're going to say if, and only if that I is greater than 0. End. So that means it's not the first letter. If it is the first letter, then we will just do string to lower. String to lower that. Now I'm not sure whether this thing works on numbers, so let's try. Let's say PHP, and we'll open the PHP stuff, and then let's try to echo string to lower. Echo string to lower. We are echoing string to lower 1. Yeah. Okay, you know what? Let me control C that one. So let's say PHP dash A, PHP into active. Good. Then we'll do echo string to lower 1. No problem here. We're good. Okay, since that is good, that is good, that is good. There's no more problem. We can now go back. At least we spot that earlier on before we went on with the actual programming, the usage. So since we have said that the namespace util should use this particular file file util trait, we can at least be sure that the container maker and the file runner will. So let's see. Is it command executor? No, we are not looking for abstract class. It's actually in classes. So let's look at the ZAS, and we want the container maker. So the container maker, we need to update things like home direct. So the actual name is that capital last get name. So we made this small letter with string to lower that. Instead of doing that, let's say we are going to make it this to ZAS namespace. Exactly. So good. Since this one is already now into the ZAS naming convention, let's look at the other one. So we have the actual name, then we can make directories. That's no problem. We already have this one. But then when we want to create a file, we know here we are saying string to lower. So now we are going to say to ZAS name instead. To ZAS this to ZAS name. Yeah, we managed to do that. We managed. Oh wait, did I duplicate anything here? I didn't duplicate. I didn't duplicate anything. Yeah, we have to make file function being called, and yeah, we're right. So with that said, we have everything done. We can make constant class. Now good. Let's go to the file maker itself. So file maker, we are creating file with this file name, but we're not going to do that these days. We are going to say this to ZAS name that then we pass the extension. So the extension itself is PHP by default. This was just for extension purposes, so that when I change this thing to take its instruction from the ZAS configuration, we just pass the extension here, no problem. Now let's look at folder maker. So this gives us the full path. Current directory is the full path of the root directory. Make folder name. Then so instead of we're going to say, we know that this command executor uses the namespace utility trait, so we can just have to ZAS name. Great. Yep. What else don't we have? With this, we now might have to edit one more thing. Our auto. Not even okay. That means I'll have to manually change these files. Like class object should be class dash object. Okay, me, I'm most of the time lazy. I usually just write code to do this for me, but let me just see if this thing works, if we actually have the dashes. Yeah, so we're gonna say, I don't know if we can quit. So we say PHP ZAS make class test namespace dash new file. Let's see what we get. Oh, okay, guys, the error is still here. I said I didn't want this dash to be before, but it seems like we didn't fix that bug. So let's go back. Uh, hey, let me laugh. Let's go back. Eh? Wait, did I put dash? I shouldn't have put dash. Also, I should have taken the name from the ZAS config file. But let's just see if the dash works. So if I is greater than 0, but here I is not greater than 0. Why is it? Why did they put that? If I is greater than 0, probably there was a space before. Okay, what to do? I'm going to trim the file name. Yep, I'm going to say file name. Let's trim the file name so that we remove the spaces. So we're gonna make another test one. Oh wow, no way. Dash F. It's still the same thing. What to do? Let me look at classes. Yeah, you see it. That's not the one we want, so let me delete that one. Let me try it again. It's still the same. Oh, I think it's this end here. You know what? I is equal to 0. Okay. If I is not equal to 0, and we are a capital letter, then do this. But then I don't know. Initially, I is actually 0. You know what? Let's do some debugging here. Let me be sure that I'm actually presenting the correct thing. Let me echo. Not even echo. Just say CLI log. Let's log I is $I. Let me see. I is 5. I is 1. Oh, wait. No way. Why would I be 1? I is 1. And then I is 5. So let me see. I is 1. 0. Wait. 0, 1. Oh. Wait. I'm sure. It's because of the backslash. It's because of the. Okay, let me look at it again. You know what? And file name is file name. Let's see what we're getting here. I knew it. There you go. So it's the backslash, eh? And the thing is, we cannot tamper with this backslash. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, instead of me saying I 0, let me forget about I being 0. Let me forget about I being 0. We will have to keep track of the first character we have met. So because we could have multiple backslashes anyway, so we want to keep track of the first character. So I'm just going to say another boolean, first char passed is equal to false. Okay. Okay, and then I'll not say passed, first character met. Now we just have to test if we are actually an alphanumeric character. No, actually A to Z, things like that. So say no. First char met is equal to preg p match what? A to Z or A to Z. I could use backslash db, but that won't work. Just to write this thing again, I'm lazy to do that. So as soon as we meet the first character, I don't want to always be matching this thing here. But anyway, but it's just gonna be okay. What to do? I would say if not, yeah. If not, yeah. Pardon me. I like my parentheses. They save me a lot. My braces, I mean, so that we don't always have to check. We have to do preg match. I want to run away from time complexity. Okay, so if not first character met, then see if we have met the first character. So if we are this and it's not first character, yeah, so that means, so if first character met is false. If it is the first character met, okay, so if first character is have been met, so we say if first char met, that means we have already met the first character. So if it is the first character that we have met, okay, if we have already met the first character in our execution, then we should not yeah. So if we have already met the first character, then we should check. But if we have not, then don't check. So let me delete this one again. Let me test this thing. Okay. Now you guys can see again there's another problem. I've made another error somewhere. Let's go back. Okay. Yes, we didn't put the dash, but it seems like this thing is not updating at all. Okay. I was trying my best not to retest this thing in case it's true. So if this thing is false, then check if it is the first character met. That is, if preg match A to Z or A to Z is equal to true. Okay, let's say equal to true instead of equivalent to true, because that won't work. Okay, we have another problem again. Wait. Okay. The file name is test namespace. Okay, now we're gonna be saying first char met, and first char met is first char met. I'm going to clear this thing, and let's see what we are saying. First char met is 1. Okay, wait. When I was equal to 1, first char met should not have been 1. Wait. No way. If we have met the first character. Now you see, this is the thing about logic. Okay. Okay. Let me take let me come back. Tell her you're eating chapati with water. Wait, it's after 8. Okay. So since now it's after 8, I'm going to start it again tomorrow morning at around 2 a.m. and we can see the problem here. I think it's a very simple problem.